exactly what he does do. Like I said before, there are a couple of styles. I wouldn't be surprised if Fenix sent quite an early SCV to try and build an engineering bay on the natural expansion at MaDFroG's natural to try and deny that, because obviously he wants to try and get an early hatchery down as fast as possible.
Definitely, definitely. So it looks like both players are ready. We are starting. If you would like Fenix to close out this series 2-0, give a cheer for Fenix!
Make some noise for Swedish MaDFroG to take this game.
Does look like MaDFroG is spawning in the right position as the blue Zerg. In the north, we have Fenix spawning as the red Terran.
So yeah, as we were talking about before, Fenix was practicing this matchup on this map. He is ready for this, actually. Look, he's got the first game. I'm not sure if he actually went into the first game thinking he could take that down, but he does. He must be feeling extremely comfortable, very confident right now. And if, as you were saying, he has been practicing this map, he should be feeling over the moon as he faces MaDFroG here.
There's the Overlord going down right now for MaDFroG, getting it on 9. Not going to do any fancy cancel action. Fenix playing that supply depot next to his assembler, next to his Vespene Geyser. And ordinarily, Terrans really need to do the 3 building wall off, a barracks, a factory, or a starport, or really just 3 of any building that size.
Oh man, I remember those days when bailing busts. People actually, it took them quite a while to figure out. There was a time Demago won like 2 Zotac Cups in a row by just bailing busting every Terran.
Yeah, I know, and everyone was like, how do you stop it? It's impossible, and he'd win again and again and again, and when you meet him, you find out that he actually probably thought that was hilarious and just probably giggled to himself every time.
Every time he busts down the wall, he's like, God, these Terran players are so dumb.
Yeah, again it worked. Again.
The refinery has gone down before the barracks, actually. So we might be seeing some kind of fast Banshee play, maybe. Banshee's obviously been great on this map because of the long walking distance, but the very short air distance. And MaDFroG does see that. He will probably realize that the gas was down first, but the hatchery does go down on 15. And no, it actually went down on 16, and 16 gas firsts.
Wow, that's a very early gas geyser for MaDFroG. You will be able to build that spawning pool, and when it finishes, he will have over 100 gas. And you know, Greetorp is quite adamant about saying that refinery before barracks is so essential on Scrap Station that if you do anything other than this, you are an idiot, because look at how fast this factory is going down, and the only thing you have to sacrifice is that the orbital command gets started on 16 food instead of 15, unless, of course, you decide to make a Marine. You can actually cut this Marine, cut that SCV, and get an orbital command right away.
Yeah, and it would have been on 16, exactly. This Overlord, yeah, I was like, oh my god, this Overlord. No, he actually cancels the Marine.
Interesting.
So that's probably to get the orbital command, realizing that it kind of needs it. The second refinery going down,
wow,
I'm intrigued to see what the add-on on the factory is going to be. That's going to tell us a lot.
Yeah, I mean, really, he might even be planning on doing some sort of big Viking action. Often a lot of players are not used to having large numbers of air units swarm into their base. There's the SCV heading down, so now Fenix is aware that the expansion is finished. MaDFroG is building a queen at each location and also getting that very fast link speed.
And the reactor is not going to go down, actually. He might be waiting for a tech lab. Nothing on the factories yet, so this is kind of interesting. Not even a helium. Double starport being made by Fenix.
Oh.
This is what he's going to do. So it looks like it might be, or probably is going to be, double Banshee play. I'm still kind of surprised why he didn't get the tech lab on the factory so he could switch it up.
Well, he can always wait until the last second, and oh, MaDFroG getting some great information. He is going to see the starport and the tech lab. Again, it's not the best information because you almost certainly would have seen that just for the Zergling at the front anyways, but that second starport is essential.
And this Overlord's actually coming in on the left-hand side and is going to see the second starport, and he does see it. And that is huge for MaDFroG. He knows exactly what's going on, and I suspect another queen shall be making. Yes, it is.
Yeah, MaDFroG is going to be more than prepared. The only way that really Fenix can hope to have a lot of damage get dealt is if he does end up getting that very, very fast cloak upgrade. And I don't think he'll have enough gas to do so, but again, Fenix has really blown me away time and again with his ability to control his units and make good decisions. But MaDFroG is making himself as anti-Banshee as possible. There's the Evo chamber going down. There's queen number 3, and the building is queen number 4.
I actually don't think you can successfully defend this with only queens. The best way, I've seen this style been done, to Muslims show me this style quite a lot, and when you go for all these Banshees, you actually need a Hydra Den out, so we're going to have to see if he will go for one. The lair is done. He really does need to get Hydralisk out to help defend against this, because the sheer amount of Banshees, when you get to this critical amount, the DPS of 4 or 5 Banshees just takes down Queens almost in one shot at a time.
And there's the Hydralisk Den coming out for MaDFroG. In the meantime, it looks like Fenix is just continuing to mass up. A lot of Banshees, no cloak yet. There's the Banshee heading down to the natural expansion. I love how Fenix just tries to take out any unit that he can with his Banshees. Doesn't try to get a little too over-eager and hide or try to only hit drones. More than happy to pick off a Ling.
And this is really looking good for MaDFroG, actually. I mean, he has 4 Queens, actually, down at the natural. Along with a Spore Crawler, and then this one Banshee at the top is going to walk into another Spore Crawler, and we look at the production tab, 14 drones, actually, in production. I thought because the Hydra didn't finish, I'm like expecting to say, let's look at the production tab, and there's Hydralisk coming. But no, like 14 drones.
And it looks like Fenix now trying to move in there and pick off maybe one of these Queens. Will he get one at all? No! A very nice transfuse at the last second by MaDFroG. Does end up retreating again, and extra gas guys are going up as well. And it looks like Fenix is having to add on a bunch of barracks at this point in time and an armory. Does not have enough options left. Yeah,
he knows this build has not worked at all for him. He's got the command center down. The best thing he could do is just try to expand and try and build back into the game. As you said, putting down another 2 barracks, but these Banshees have just been completely nullified. They are useless in this game. There are just too many Queens. Spore Crawlers out, and he is researching Hydralisk range as well, so completely dead, these Banshees.
There's a couple of drone kills that are going to go down for Fenix, as those Banshees do kill things off so quickly, but still we see MaDFroG doing a great job of spreading creep, getting the 3rd hatch, continuing to macro. Meanwhile, back in Phoenix Town, he is getting the Thor, he's getting the Marines, he's getting extra barracks, no doubt to prep up for a big Marine transition. And again, these Banshees have to retreat due to all of these Queens.
I'm kind of interested to like ask Fenix later why he decides to go for a Thor in this position. Do you think this is a good idea to go for a Thor?
I mean, really, any situation when you see a Zerg getting a lair and he could be getting a Spire in any fashion, you kind of have to get a Thor in that spot. If you had time to build up more Marines or to build up any other kind of defense, that would be okay, but when you're only making Banshees, you really got to get out some sort of power anti-air.
6 Marines in this Medivac moving at the top of the base. Is going to try to drop, and we look at the production tab, there's actually not that many units. All the Hydras are down at the bottom, taking down the destructible rocks, and he might be able to get a lot of kills. Does scan, and he is moving in now with this Medivac.
Looks like this Medivac is going to be getting in position, but not quite doing anything yet. Very trademark Fenix, just to hang out with units all around his opponent's base. The dropship up here, the Banshee's moving around to the south side. Very classic Fenix move. It looks like Fenix is unloading right now. Doesn't have any stim. MaDFroG will end up retreating. He's going to try to take out this Spore Crawler. That will definitely help with his Banshee harassment. And again, picking off drones along this weak edge.
Yeah, that's really nice play by him. You know, forcing all the units to move around to go defend for the Marines, and then moving in with the Banshees to do that. And he picks up, and he actually manages to keep the Medivac alive, only losing a couple of Marines. These Medivacs are, though, cutting the minerals in half over here because he's been forced to manually put them on the right-hand side.
Yeah, it looks like more drones are still being taken out. MaDFroG actually taking us an extensive amount of time to even notice it. And then MaDFroG just Fenix easily retreats with those Banshees, and it appears to be continuing to mass Marines and tanks. And look at this. It's an 11-minute Thor drop.
11-minute Thor drop, and I'm not sure if that's the best thing to do against all these Hydras. And MaDFroG, actually, I think he's just going to go straight into Fenix's base. He's realized that he spent so much money on all these Banshees, a failed drop, and he can just go and kill him, I think.
Uh-oh, here come a bunch of Hydras into the main. Oh no, Fenix is not ready at all. The Marines end up falling. The tank might be able to get one shot, but in the meantime, we have this Thor Marine drop doing a ton of damage.
Doing a lot of damage, but at the same time, Lings are on the natural of Fenix as well, and it looks like MaDFroG in a very comfortable position, and he's been forced to pick up his Thor and Marines to go back to help defend this. Hydralisk just tearing apart these production facilities. Lings taking it out, and MaDFroG takes the game.
Wow. A very, very easy win there for MaDFroG. I mean, just pretty much sat comfortably, did the intuitive response, and the Banshees pretty much did nothing.
Yeah, as soon as you saw it, the key thing that MaDFroG did in that game was overlord scouting. I mean, we've seen games before when we watched Dark Force play. He lost because he couldn't scout or didn't scout. And MaDFroG, knowing that something's up, even he could have done the same as you and be like, oh man, why were you practicing that, Matt? What are you doing?
Yeah,
and then like had to send overlords in, saw the first starport and was like, okay. And because, well, first off, he saw the early refinery, which indicated some very heavy gas play. And then he sent the second overlord in, saw the second starport, and reacted perfectly.